Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is probably going to be the most, dare I say, controversial. I don't want to say that, but you know, this video is going to bring a lot of strong opinions because this subject in particular has very strong opinions from one side, but I think that the other side needs to be talked about as well. So today I'm going to be making the case for Phaedra Parks. So Phaedra Parks came to us in 2010 at the third season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The show was starting to get so much momentum during this time, and Phaedra would go on to stay there for 6 more years. 6 more years of iconic reads, one-liners, and storylines. So in season 3, who can forget Phaedra? She brought us comedic relief as being the Southern Belle attorney who represented Whitney Houston's husband, Bobby Brown. We had the hilarious scene where she forgot how many months of pregnancy she was.
And it was July, but this baby getting ready to come up out of here.
And she also confronted Nene at the reunion when Nene tried to pull a I don't know you card.
We were 43 to be exact.
And Phaedra didn't need to try that hard. Season 4, she represented Cherie Whitfield with some legal disputes that she had with her ex-husband Bob and child custody. Then in season 5, it started to heat up. She planned on doing a workout DVD with a new housewife who had arrived that season, Kenya Moore. The deal fell through though, and that caused the iconic feud between Kenya and Phaedra. The reunion that year was particularly basically focused on them going back and forth, and in my humble opinion, Phaedra won that battle. "Show me the receipts," she said to Kenya, because Kenya went on to do her own workout DVD as revenge, and it was a mess.
The truth is the numbers speak for themselves. Whatever.
No, honey. Twirl on that.
Yes.
In season 6, things were really bad with Kenya. There was a narrative going around that Kenya may have been into Apollo, Phaedra's husband, because she did text him when Phaedra asked her to stop. In my opinion, I think it was Apollo who had a crush on her, and that's why he lied so much on Kenya. But Kenya wasn't totally innocent because she did continue to text him, as I just said. But oh child, that read that Phaedra gave Kenya in the season 6 reunion about the $10 medium-sized pizza? Oh my. Years later, I'm still trying to recover. Now, during these 3 seasons, Phaedra had been establishing a friendship with another housewife on this show, Kandi Burruss. But on season 7, we learned that Phaedra and Apollo were getting a divorce and that he would be incarcerated. There was a particular scene where she had to change the locks of her house, and it was one of those moments in reality TV that were so raw and so real, it kind of gives you chills watching it. Meanwhile, her criminal ex-husband was accusing her of having another man, aka Mr. Chocolate. If that were to be true, she had the right to do so because she was already divorcing him, and it's not like he was a pretty good husband. And Kenya confronted her over this, thinking that would somehow be an acquittal to her and the drama that happened with her and Apollo, and they almost got physical with one another. But something was going on. One of her best friends on the show, Kandi, was not really showing the support that Phaedra thought she was going to give her. The same friend that she shared so much with. Phaedra even introduced Todd Tucker to Kandi, and they would later then get married. Matter of fact, it was Nene who was the most supportive. The same Nene that she was feuding with not too long ago. So the friendship between Phaedra and Kandi began to deteriorate, especially by season 8. At the reunion, Phaedra expressed her feelings, but Kandi was trying to justify herself a lot. But Kandi did get emotional because they truly loved each other. But Kandi never got along with Nene. So for Kandi to hear Phaedra tell Nene on camera that Nene was the most supportive to her and that she would have thought it would have been Kandi, that really hurt Kandi and it didn't sit well with her. So jump to season 9. At this point, not only had this wonderful friendship come to an end, Phaedra found out that Apollo's belongings were being kept at Kandi's house, and she didn't know about it. And if that wasn't enough, Kandi's husband Todd invited Apollo's new girlfriend to an event. What on earth? Your ex-best friend's husband not only chose Apollo's side, but he's now bringing his new girlfriend to an event in front of everyone? It felt like a true betrayal. Now, Todd and Cynthia Bailey's then husband, Peter Thomas, clearly took Apollo's side, which is totally understandable. They were his friend, and that was fine. But this was starting to become a little bit deeper than that, because they were bringing some of these issues to the show. So Apollo was in jail telling them little secrets about Phaedra, and they were choosing to repeat it on camera and let the narrative spin out of control. Kandi and Phaedra at this point had had several meetings that they did to try and mend things, but they just didn't seem to be able to get back on track. And I do think it had a lot to do with Todd's involvement in this.
I want our relationship to be, I want it to be what it used to be.
By the way, I do need to point out that Phaedra and Porsha were becoming very close friends during this time. It also didn't help that Kandi's employees would like to get involved in her issues and go against Phaedra and Porsha a lot. But season 9 got darker. A storyline took place in which Porsha blamed Kandi for trying to take advantage of her and taking her to a sex dungeon. Kandi was livid about this. On a dinner that they had on a vacation, Kandi was in tears that Porsha would insinuate that she would be someone like a Bill Cosby. And then Kandi addresses Phaedra directly and says, "Phaedra, let's be clear. I never do nothing about no drugs, and you know that." At this point, we didn't know that Phaedra was behind the secret. Then we skip to the infamous, notorious reunion. The first reunion in housewife history to get 4 parts. In the last part, while they're talking about Porsha and where she heard this rumor from, she says, "I have been served a cease and desist from Kandi. I can no longer speak on it. So I'll ask Phaedra to share it because she's the one who told me that Kandi said it." The entire reunion set, the entire cast, Andy Cohen, and the rest of America was shocked. After a long season, it was revealed that Phaedra was the one who told Porsha the secret.
Why would you do that?
Oh my God!
I can't get away from you.
Kandi was hurt. She could hardly breathe. Phaedra knew she had gone too far. She immediately apologized to both Kandi and Porsha. Porsha used the excuse that she didn't know Phaedra made it up because she thought Phaedra heard it directly from Kandi, but she didn't. So Porsha had an out, but Phaedra didn't. All she could do was apologize to Kandi. But she was then fired from the show where she got her fame and recognition, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now let's talk about the aftermath. Y'all remember that Kandi was so hurt by the rumor that could have made her lose her career? Well, she went on to create a dungeon tour. So, good for her for turning this mess around, but I guess it wasn't that damaging if you still used it. Regardless, the show Real Housewives of Atlanta went on. Season 10 was great, having Nene Leakes, Kim Zolciak, and Sheree Whitfield, all OGs in the cast. But the show began to lose ratings. To put it in perspective, season 3 to 9, where Phaedra was on, the ratings for the show were from a max of 3.73 million to a minimum of 2.62 million overall. After season 10, it was still strong, with episodes still getting more than 1 million ratings. But after the exit of Nene Leakes and Porsha Williams, episodes from season 14 struggled to even reach 1 million. The prime years of Atlanta had Phaedra Parks in the mix, and that's something no one can dispute. It has been over 6 years since Phaedra left, and Kandi Burruss has made her opinions be known publicly. You see, when Nene left and the ratings were on the floor, Many brought up Phaedra as a possible driving force to get Atlanta back on the track. But Kandi gave Bravo an ultimatum: me or Phaedra. She has said that if Phaedra comes back to the show, she will leave. Now, I do blame Bravo for giving her this power that she thinks she has. Which one of us, in our normal jobs, has told one of our bosses and given them an ultimatum similar to this? Probably no one. So why should Kandi be allowed to do this?
Do you think you that important?
Phaedra apologized to her, and I have presented to you guys that Phaedra was coming from a place of a broken friend who felt a deep betrayal from someone who she loved. She even told Kandi that she possibly could have even loved her more than she loved her husband. So she was clearly out for revenge, which revenge is not good. It never is. But it's not too far-fetched for us to understand where she was coming from. Phaedra also went on to reveal that she didn't make up the lie. Executive producer of the show, Carlos King, told it to her. So, as a hurt person looking for revenge, and possibly being genuinely worried about Porsha's safety, she told Porsha the secret, who was her new best friend. Almost 5 years later, Phaedra joined Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. It was the first time since that debacle that she appeared back on anything related to Bravo. I can say that the majority of the audience who watched Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2 really enjoyed her. So much that she even made an appearance on the new Bravo show Real Housewives of Dubai. Then, just this past year, Phaedra Parks was offered 3 contracts: Real Housewives of Dubai, Married to Medicine, or Real Housewives of Atlanta. But she came with a high price tag, so she chose Married to Medicine since she is engaged to a doctor, but they had to get rid of 2 members of the show. Filming has begun, and while I am so excited to see her kicking it with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie and all the other people, Phaedra's place truly belongs in Real Housewives of Atlanta. I hope that I have given you a new view in why Phaedra did what she did, but if you still don't want to forgive her or see past it, how about this? She was fired. Whether she heard it from Carlos or she made it up, she paid for what she did. Publicly exposed at the reunion, fired, and more than 5 years without being on Bravo. I think it's time to turn the page and let her come back with the budget that she deserves. As for Kandi, let Bravo call her on her bluff. I am almost certain that Phaedra coming back will not prompt Kandi to lose the $2 million paycheck that she gets from every season of Atlanta. You guys, this is my case for Phaedra Parks. I know that many of you are going to disagree because you guys think that what she did was outrageous, and I agree. But I hope that I have kind of given you a little new perspective of just put yourself in Phaedra's shoes. Think of your best friend and think what would happen if your best friend did all the things that Phaedra felt that Kandi did to her. So, like I said, Phaedra is going to be joining Married to Medicine. I am excited about that, but I hope that in the future she will be making her comeback back where she belongs, Real Housewives of Atlanta, so we can have a little bit more action, because you guys cannot disagree with me that season 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 match up to these last seasons that we've seen of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Not saying it's bad, but it's not the same as it was. So let me know your comments. What did you think about this case for Phaedra Parks? If you agree, if you totally disagree, let me know. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.